Now we've learned a little bit more about everyone in the room. I'd just like to give some basic background information on LinkAges Timebank. So it was, as I mentioned earlier, it was developed by the Palo Alto Medical Foundation as a way to stitch communities back together through performances of service. But it's part of their broader LinkAges program, which seeks to combat social isolation in older adults. It's a very rampant problem. It can be very deadly. There's a very jarring statistic that we've come across in promoting this program. It's that severe loneliness can be more deadly than smoking 15 cigarettes a day, which is, I think, about 3/4 of a pack. So it's a lot of cigarettes. So loneliness it's a big issue, and it's a big deal in our community because we have an aging community. LinkAges Timebank in the Bay Area has been on quite a roll. I believe they launched in 2013, and now they've ramped it up to about 400 members. So it's growing and it's growing strong, and that's part of the reason they want to see how else it can succeed. So they've reached out to the Westside Japanese American community through Keiro, and that's why I'm here today. So now that we've learned a little bit more about that, I'd like to just talk about how this actually works. So the best way I've heard this Timebank described is it's a community-based service exchange network where people earn hours by performing services and use those hours to obtain services in return. That's very, very technical sounding, so what does that actually mean? I think the best way to illustrate it is going through this hypothetical chain of events that you see up here. So let's take Sandy. Sandy is a young woman who helps an older woman in her neighborhood do some grocery shopping. Perhaps this lady doesn't drive anymore and can't get to the grocery store, so Sandy does this, and Sandy banks 2 hours for helping this lady get her groceries. Now Sandy has 2 hours in the bank. What does she want to use it for? Well, Sandy enjoys drums. She enjoys loud noises. She likes Japanese culture. Sounds like taiko to me. So Sandy sees that John has an offer up to teach taiko on the Timebank website, so she signs up for taiko lessons with John. And John banks 2 hours for teaching Sandy to play taiko. But John's also got needs that he needs fulfilled. John has an older mother who needs a caretaker for her, but John also has a wife who wants to go out on date night. They can't go see whatever movie's out right now, San Andreas, they like earthquake stuff. So John wants to go out on date night, so he puts out a request on Timebank for someone to spend the evening with his mother so he can go on date night with his wife. And Jennifer steps up to the table. Jennifer has a couple hours to spare, so she hangs out with John's mom for the evening. John and his wife go on date night, and everyone's happy.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What are the hours you're going for? What does that mean?
That's hours. I'll explain that in just one moment. Okay, so basically, and so where was I? Okay, so now Jennifer just helps. Has been spending so much time with John's mom that Jen has her own problem now. Jen also has a dog, but she doesn't have enough time to spend with the dog anymore. So when she puts out a request on Timebank, she needs someone to walk around the park with her dog. And that's where Robert steps into play. Robert likes dogs, but he can't own one because his apartment doesn't allow it. So Robert walks Jen's dog around the park a couple of times a week, and he gets his fix, and he earns hours for that. And then he goes on and spends it, and the chain goes on, so on and so forth. Does that make sense to everyone? Anyone notice anything interesting about this chain of events here?
It's not bartering.
Yeah, that's true. It's not bartering. Everyone kind of agrees to what the hours that would be exchanged are. And then to answer your question, is the hours. Think of it. I would think of Timebank like a mini economy where instead of exchanging cash, you're exchanging hours. So you did this for someone else, and then you earn hours for that, and then you can get a different service from someone else. And notice none of these are one-to-one. It's not Sandy helps John, then John helps Sandy. It's John helps Sandy, Jen helps John, Robert helps Jen, so on and so forth. So that's the community building aspect, where you build a network that goes all throughout the neighborhood.
So is it the actual hours you spend, or is there like a charge depending on what kind of job you do? Is it worth more hours or what?
That's a good question. That was going to be your next point.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's good. Basically, everyone's hours are valued the same, no matter how complicated it is or how simple it is. Like Jen spending the evening with John's mom is worth just as much as, I don't know, let's, say someone helping fix your car, like they're really good at, they're a mechanic. So that's something that requires advanced technical skills. Whereas, Jen spending time with John's mom, that's, really just hanging around and having a conversation for the evening. But that's worth the same. Yeah, and that's why this program is particularly valuable for older adults, because it redefines work. The idea is that everyone has something to contribute, no matter how small, and everyone's time is valued equally. So it's really, and I think everyone in here probably has an experience with, an older relative that they don't want to ask for help because they don't want to be a burden, right? Is that safe to say? And this kind of eliminates that problem because you're not asking for help. Remember what the lady said in the video, it's giving someone the gift of allowing them to give to you. No one wants to just be on the receiving end, they want to give too. They want to feel, it gives you self-worth when you're able to contribute like that. Any other questions about this? Yeah.
Just the trust issues here. Has Robert ever met Jennifer? Robert's going to a house and getting a dog.
Yeah.
Has seen,
Yeah.
John is safe to be, Jennifer's safe to be with his mother, I know, I see the background check, but still, I don't know these people, so what is it?
Well, the idea is, we're implementing it within the Westside J organization. So it's a very tight-knit community. Everyone around, there is a lot of overlap between the different organizations. Like, we just did one at the VHBT a couple weeks ago. And I think I'm a Temple member, lifelong Temple member, and I'm a member of multiple organizations over there. So there's a lot of overlap. So even if you don't maybe know this person like on a very well, and maybe you've met him only 1 or 2 times, you still there's connection there. There's less than 6 degrees of separation. And you don't have to answer things for people you don't know, and you don't have to respond to offers for people you don't know. You can pick who you line up with. If you're only comfortable working with people that you already know, then you have the option to just choose those people. Does that make sense? Yeah. Anything else?
Can we send someone in our credit? Cooking. And then, like Joan Takeuchi's really good, so I could send Joan over to teach her the cooking and I get the point.
And what is Joan's incentive for earning hours for you?
Yeah, I gotta think that one through.
You can actually, a couple of people have had the idea, they have a mom who might need help with things, and they can earn hours and use that for their mom, and that is possible. And you can donate hours to other people. There is something if you can't think of anything you can possibly contribute, we have something called a community fund, where people who literally can't think of anything to offer, they can withdraw from that and they can get their service requests fulfilled that way. That's another option. Yeah?
Do hours expire? No, does it still engage?
Yeah. As long as it goes on, hours. It's not like a gift certificate.
You want to give the hours, no way you could go.
Life insurance.
No. Definitely not. We don't want to be like life insurance. These are good questions, though. Anyone got anything more? Before I go on to the next slide. Okay. Very good. You guys are fun. Okay. So we do have some stipulations for people who join. First and foremost, we want everyone to be at least 18 years of age. This is just for liability purposes. We want everyone who engages in an exchange to be legal adult. We also want everyone to attend an on-site orientation, which you guys have all done by virtue of being here today. So there's 2 more out of the way. Everyone here's over 18 too, so that's good. And then last but not least, she already mentioned it earlier, but we put everyone through a background check. It's just another layer of security. This is not looking into your financial information, your credit score, or anything. It's just checking to see that you're not a bank robber or a home invader, something like that. But just make sure everyone is a good guy. And I don't think we've had any problems with that thus far. Although we do want everyone to be at least 18 years of age if they're a member, we do allow people younger than that to participate. They can be the child or someone who is under the stewardship of a Timebank member, but they need to be accompanied at all times by their parent or legal guardian who is a member if they're going to engage in these things. Once again, it's just for safety, for safety's sake. Any questions about this? Okay, so moving on, we're going to, we're actually going to be doing a activity. I don't know if you guys when you walked in, you noticed probably those boards in the back over there. There's the one in green, which is requests, and the one in orange, which says offers. We're actually going to do this is the audience participation part. Yay. But yeah,